Jack, this next comment question is, I'd be interested in what his views are when he looks at his lifelong accomplishments. Does he ever sit back and realize how many people he has impacted for the better, how much he has impacted the investment industry? These impacts are huge, and I wonder what it must be like to contemplate your accomplishments.
Well, when a question like that comes up, one is always called on to quote Sophocles, which I'm about to do. One must wait until the evening to enjoy the splendor of the day. And my evening is not here yet, so I'm not really ready to enjoy the splendor of the day. I said yet. And, I do get a lot of enjoyment about, you could see this yesterday. I feel badly about it, actually. Maybe a little too much ego, a little too much pride in some of the things I showed you yesterday. But it was kind of my year, and I thought, hell, brag about it. And it's not a good idea, I know that. And that's why that quote I gave you at the end about how minuscule we all are in the vast context of space and time. So you kind of come down to earth. And you also have a lot of lives. You have a family life, you have a community life, you have a business life, and you have I would say I have a ministry. I'm much more interested in the intellectual side of this business than I am in the business side of this business. And indeed, that article I wrote for the Financial Analyst Journal, at their request, the one I mentioned yesterday, professional values versus business values in finance, is to try and strike some balance in all these things you do. And my wife thinks I'm bereft of humility. Did you follow that all right? There is something to that, but I've tried to handle what I don't want to make this too personal, but this is really weird. I may be overexpressing it a little bit, but I just want to be the same kind of kid I grew up as. I don't want to change. I had high values. I tried to set a good example. I took responsibility. I worked hard and tried to do things the right way to help the community and the investor and anybody else I was working with. And that's good enough for me. And, when I look at some of those monkeys, for the want of a better word, that are in the Forbes list that I talked about yesterday, I have no envy. They all have more money than I do. I don't give a damn. Not a damn. And we have all we need. So I'm not embarrassed in that score. And, I've done my best to live a good life. I've made some errors along the way. But I do I get letters from shareholders. This is a more direct answer to your question, Mel. I get letters from shareholders pretty much every day, to the point where if I hadn't gotten one in the morning, when noon comes, I say, Emily, you want to check the inbox? And so that's good enough for me. And the letters are incredible. They're beyond belief in their generosity, in their appreciation. And, little things mean a lot in life. And I just got a letter in response. This was not even an investment letter. This fellow said he'd talked to me. He's a man, I think about 60. He had talked to me. He was scared. Thought he had to get a heart transplant. And he called me up to talk about it. What am I supposed to say? I'm not going to talk to you? So I talked to him, encouraged him to do it, told him some of the challenges and difficulties and how great it can work out. And he got his heart, and it's working fine. So I got a letter from him. Well, that's nice. If you can do something nice for another person, for God's sake, do it. And to quote what I said yesterday from someone you'll probably remember, do it now, for we shall not pass this way again.